Yo, what's up guys? Harry here with another Sledger video. Hopefully you guys already got this tower by beating the winter invasion event. If not, go ahead and watch the video I made giving you the easiest strategy to win without using the accelerator. After that, if you're still having trouble, go ahead and join my Discord server. There are a ton of people in there getting help with this event, sharing pics of their cats, and just plain old hanging out with other tower defense sim fans. You can join today at discord.gg/JustHarrisonThings. Now I've already used a Sledger tower in a few games playing TDS on my stream, and we used it to make the legendary 36 Sledgers versus the Fallen King video, and I gotta say, I love this tower. It is an incredibly powerful early game tower that is viable into late game if you have a good loadout to support it. And one thing that I really haven't gotten to do since the update dropped is take it into a game solo and figure out its strengths and weaknesses. So that's what this video is all about. In this series, I use one single damage tower along with some supports like the Commander, DJ, and Electroshocker to see how far that tower can make it on its own. I'll do one game on normal, one game on Molten, and one game on Fallen. Alright, before I let you guys watch this gameplay, I'm gonna go over some of the Sledger's stats. The biggest downside to this tower is the fact that it has a placement limit of 6. In fact, it's the only event tower with a placement limit. While I do agree that it's such an OP tower that it should have a placement limit, I actually think the limit should be between 8 and 10. I'm basing this decision on the fact that it has an extremely short range, as all melee towers do, and one of the ways you can overcome that limitation is by placing a lot of them. But you can't do that with the Sledger because you can only place 6. And so what ends up happening is that, yeah, sure, the tower can deal with slow enemies, but fast enemies like the speedy boss just run right by it because they are immune to the freeze effect. So the only way you can stop them is by using the Commander call to arms to get the Sledger to hit them as many times as possible before they get away. Now I do figure out a way to defeat these little buggers, but I'm not going to tell you what that is right now. So being able to place more Sledgers would help with this problem, although it already does really well against groups of slow-moving strong enemies because it has the ability to hit more than one enemy with each swing of its hammer. And I definitely struggled more on Fallen, where the enemies start out stronger and get stronger faster than the other two game modes, so I found it difficult to balance leveling it up with farming and leveling up my minigunner. Yes, you heard that right. I had to bring along the golden minigunner because the Sledger does not have hidden detection, and I didn't want to die before the challenge even got started, so I had to bring something along to deal with the hidden enemies. Now, what's interesting about the Sledger and hidden enemies is that it actually can freeze and kill the hiddens as long as they're next to a non-hidden. This is because the Sledger has the ability to hit multiple enemies at one time. So there's plenty of times in this video that you're going to see a SHOUTOUT boss get bonked, but it doesn't happen often enough to be relied on. As for the minigunners, I placed them at the very end of the path so they don't attack the enemies the Sledger's supposed to attack. And so just to recap, the biggest downsides of this tower are the fact that it does not have hidden detection, it has extremely short range, and it has a placement limit. But these negatives are offset by one big fat positive. The tower does massive damage to frozen enemies. The way this works is that the Sledger has the ability to freeze zombies and then do double damage to them. According to the TDS wiki, its official damage per second at max level is 40, but when you consider the double damage to frozen enemies and the fact that it hits more than one enemy at a time, its actual in-game DPS is going to be much higher than 40, probably coming in at between 80 and 100. What you're going to see in these games is that when I get my Sledgers to max level and a group of slow bosses come sauntering up to them, they are just going to drain them from 1600 health each to dead. These stats, coupled with a very low placement price of $350, make the Sledger one of the best early game towers on the market right now. So I'm hoping to get a good performance out of it for this first game. And with that, I'm going to let you guys watch this gameplay. If you choose to be a weirdo and skip right to the end to see how I did, I'm going to be breaking down what the tower did right and what the tower did wrong after each game. Okay, now go ahead and sit back, relax, and grab a cat, and I'll see you there. This is not surprising. With a paltry placement limit of 6, there was just no way I could do enough damage to the gravedigger to stop him from digging my grave. And as I said at the beginning of this video, during the game, the only enemy that gave me trouble was the speedy boss, especially when he spawned from a mystery. Because of the fact that he doesn't get frozen, I couldn't do double damage to him, and he just ran right past me like Sonic. But during this next game, I devise a plan to deal with him. Let's just say I kill him. How did I manage to get 24,000 health off the Molten boss, but only 10,000 health off the Gravedigger? Molten boss takes more damage from Sledger because it's fire versus ice? Confirmed! No, I think the Gravedigger just stunned way more times than the Molten boss did. That's still pretty crazy to take off 24,000 health from a boss. And allow me to just point out how I dealt with those pesky speedy bosses this game. All it took was a couple of electroshockers. Even though they don't stop the speedy boss completely, the electroshockers slowed him down just enough for the Sledgers to do the extra damage they needed to finish him off, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's move on to our last game and see how this tower handles the Fallen King. Man, come on. I didn't even get to wave 20. This was actually my second attempt to play Fallen with the Sledger. And the problem that I had was that I just couldn't get enough money to level up my minigunners to fight off the hidden enemies and level up my Sledgers to handle the rest of them. So both times I died around wave 20. The really big difference for me between the other two game modes and Fallen is that I felt like I was always struggling to survive, and so I couldn't invest the money that I needed to into the farms for them to really pay off. And this is even more sad because I switched out the electroshocker with the freezer to try and see if the fact that it froze enemies would make the Sledgers do more damage to them, since they do double damage to frozen enemies. And I didn't even get to see. Overall, this is about how I thought the Sledger would perform. A great support tower, but needs more help with the tougher bosses and faster enemies, mostly due to its placement limit and limited range. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button with your forehead, hit the subscribe button with your big toe, and turn on notifications however you can so you don't miss any of my amazing upcoming content. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, be safe, and never forget what I always say. Peace!